Some places should never be found. Some mysteries should never be solved. They say there's a patch of land where nothing lives, where time stands still, and where once you step inside, you might never return. Tonight, we follow the footsteps of a man who dared to enter the silent hollow and was never seen again. Are you brave enough to hear his story?
It began like so many other stories. Jack Morrow, a seasoned writer known for his investigations into unexplained mysteries, had heard about a place that defied explanation, the Silent Hollow. Locals whispered of its bizarre and sinister reputation, but no one could quite describe what it was. They only knew that something about it wasn't right. Jack wasn't one to be easily scared. He'd seen and heard it all: ghost towns, haunted woods, cursed relics. But something about the Silent Hollow intrigued him, especially after a local man, Rusty Wheeler, mentioned it over a round of drinks at the town bar. Rusty was what you call a classic country boy, rough around the edges, with a thick southern drawl and a suspicious look in his eye. But even Rusty, who was the kind of man who'd wrestle alligators if dared, seemed downright uneasy when he spoke of the hollow. Rusty, shaking his head.
I ain't going in there, Jack. Ain't no amount of money or whiskey can get me to cross that fence. It's cursed land, I tell you. Ain't no animals go near it, no birds sing, just dead silence. It's wrong.
Jack's curiosity, of course, was piqued. That was all the invitation he needed. And so, after much convincing, Rusty agreed to take him there, though he made it clear he wouldn't step 1 foot inside. The next morning, Jack and Rusty arrived at the Silent Hollow. It looked unassuming enough at first glance, just a barren patch of land in the middle of the forest, surrounded by a rusty wire fence. The air was unusually still, not a single sound around them. No wind rustling the trees, no chirping of birds, nothing. Just an eerie, oppressive silence. Jack couldn't help but feel a chill crawl up his spine. Rusty, gritting his teeth.
There it is. I ain't getting no closer. I'll wait here for you, but I don't like this one bit. The place ain't natural.
Jack waved him off and approached the fence, his heart pounding a little harder than he'd expected. He wasn't afraid, he told himself, just curious. He lifted the wire and squeezed through, stepping into the hollow. That's when everything changed. The moment Jack set foot inside the hollow, he felt it. A wave of disorientation swept over him, like stepping into a thick, invisible fog. His head spun, his vision blurred. It was as though the world around him had shifted in a way that didn't make sense. The ground seemed to pulse beneath his feet, and the colors of the landscape appeared to melt and warp. Jack, whispering to himself, "What the hell?" The further he walked, the more distorted everything became. It wasn't just his vision. He could feel his sanity slipping, like his mind was being twisted and pulled apart. He looked down at his hands, and for a split second, they didn't seem like his own. Stretched and twisted like wax figures under heat. He felt wrong, like something was watching him. Something was inside the hollow with him. Outside the fence, Rusty wasn't doing much better. His skin had gone pale, and sweat dripped down his face. He tried to keep his eyes off the hollow, but something about it was making him sick to his stomach. He doubled over, vomiting violently, gasping for air between each heave. Inside the hollow, Jack tried to scream, but no sound escaped his lips. His voice was trapped in his throat, as though the air itself was suffocating him. His legs felt like lead, every step taking more effort than the last. He stumbled, reaching out for anything to steady himself, but there was nothing, only the overwhelming sense of dread. Then he felt it, a presence. Not something he could see, but something he knew was there, watching him, toying with his mind. Jack, panting. I have to get out of here. But no matter how hard he tried, his legs wouldn't move. His vision flickered between reality and something else. A darker, more twisted version of the world. The colors of the trees and sky shifted unnaturally, like the air around him was sick. He knew, without a doubt, that he was not alone. Outside the fence, Rusty could barely stand. He wanted to call out for Jack, to tell him to run, but the words caught in his throat. He fell to his knees, vomiting again, as his whole body shuddered uncontrollably. He couldn't understand it, couldn't make sense of what was happening. All he knew was that something terrible was going on in that hollow. Inside, Jack was fading. His mind was unraveling. He could feel the weight of something evil pressing down on him, pulling him deeper into the hollow. His limbs felt heavy, his mind foggy, as if the hollow was swallowing him whole. And then, in an instant, everything went dark. The last thing Jack heard was the sound of his own heartbeat thudding in his ears. And then, silence. Rusty never saw Jack again. The writer had disappeared into the silent hollow, never to return. No one in town spoke of it after that day. They pretended not to remember, not to know. But Rusty never forgot. He could still hear the whispers at night, see the hollow in his nightmares. Some say Jack Morrow is still out there, lost in the hollow, wandering its twisted landscape, trapped in a place where time and reality no longer exist. But is the story true, or just another legend? Perhaps some mysteries are better left unexplained.
Some mysteries, like the silent hollow, may never be fully explained. But what do you think? Could Jack still be out there, wandering a place where reality twists and time ceases? Or was it all just a legend? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story captivating, make sure to give it a like, share it with those who love the unknown, and subscribe for more chilling tales every week. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an eerie adventure. But before you go, take a moment to reflect on this story. Would you dare step into the silent hollow? And remember, the abyss is waiting for you.